to continue the discussion of YouTube thumbnails from the other day, or was it yesterday? Thumbnails in general have always been a bit of a struggle because it seems that the most popular style of YouTube is not the most popular style of YouTube. The most popular style of thumbnail is not the style of thumbnail that I personally want to use, because invariably it's got a person doing this. Or some degree of that. Maybe sometimes it's like... And sometimes it's like... And so on and so forth. It does tend to be the case. That's the YouTube thumbnail for you. It's an over-exaggerated facial expression and something... Like, the face is sort of filling this, like a third of the thumbnail. That's quite a focal point. But then on the other side... occupying quite a bit of the thumbnail as well. It's something that... I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it. It looks something that looks illogical to the extent that you want to click it to work out exactly what's going on in it. And often it's sort of like the clickbait thing, like they'll put something in the thumbnail that is a little economical with the truth. Like, there's been ones where it's... Let's try and think of an example. I can't think of anything specific off the top of my head, but... I don't know, let's say it's about this flipping battery that I've got. Great battery. And it'll say something like... it'll say, 1 fatal flaw, you should never use this battery or something. And it'll say it's got like 20,000 milliamp hours in it instead of 20,200. Some balls like that. But it'll have the battery and it'll have something go... And it'll have a big arrow pointing to it and it says... dangerous? You know, it entices you to click because you think, oh god, there might be something wrong with my battery and this person's looking all shocked at it, so it must be terrible. And in reality, it's something very benign and really it doesn't matter at all. But somehow the content creator has managed to drag it out for 12 minutes or so and get a boatload of money while doing so. I'm not bitter. So, anyway, the point is that style of thumbnail, while off-putting, not off-putting for everybody, clearly, but off-putting for moi, and off-putting for me to make, because that's not what I want to do. I want to be somewhat truthful with my thumbnails. That style of thumbnail is very well branded because the person's face, well, presumably they're the person who made the video, and so having their face in the picture, it's going to work wonders for branding. You know it's them because it's their face, right? So that's something that I've kind of wanted to replicate with my thumbnails, but a bit more classically, perhaps to my detriment, but you know, I have principles, damn it. And I've gone about it various different ways. Like, originally I used a robot who I've since sort of enfolded into the unknown universe, so I don't really want to use him for YouTube anymore. Old thumbnails stay as they are, by the way, I will say that. Maybe they'll change my mind on that in the future, but I'll come back onto that in a sec. And then after I'd decided not to use the robot anymore, I then wasn't exactly sure what I should do. I did have a little stint of hand drawing on my thumbnails, but that is a big job, especially unique thumbnails for each video. Now that ain't going to happen. I did for 1 or 2 videos, the Jump Ahead Reading video, for example, that's got a hand-drawn thumbnail in the style of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Don't know if anybody's picked up on that one. I'm quite proud of that. And there's a few others that have got hand-drawn thumbnails. But it's not something that I really wanted to pursue because, again, friction. And now, well, after that I went with this sort of text on its side thing. I think I was quite inspired by a lot of the Japanese sort of graphic design and the kind of the cyberpunk thing. And so that was what I went with, and it wasn't great. It was okay, but Helvetica, it was all a bit bland, really. The colours were very exciting. But again, it was a lot of effort for each video, and it doesn't sound a lot of effort, does it? Just putting some text on a thing. But you've got the thing is, I'd made it so that the text had to fit in a certain space. And if it didn't fit in the space, then it looked a bit naff. So one of the best examples of that is the Windows 98 build. I've got that style of thumbnail for that, and it doesn't fill up the whole thing, and it looks a bit daft. And you can't really read it. There's information in there, and it's text for the sake of text. And I'm not about that. So the current thumbnail style probably needs some tweaking. I'll monitor it, and I'll see how I feel in a couple of weeks. But the current style is kind of like the whole face thing, but instead, emoticon, character, mine, branding. I've actually put a little border around it as well, utilising the pattern background that I've been using for years on Twitch, and is on the channel art for the main channel, because I haven't come up with anything better yet. That's another topic. And it's got a nice border around it, so again, that's part of the branding. I kind of nicked that from Wheezy Waiter. He does it on his videos, and it's quite a nice effect. Because, again, it's his video. I mean, he also has his face in the videos, but he doesn't do the whole very over-the-top expression. He's just himself. So that's where we're at the moment. I don't really know what the point of this was. It was just kind of a discussion on the history of the Broken Circus YouTube thumbnail, I suppose. There's even older thumbnails that aren't they're all right, I think. But yes, the thing about old thumbnails is that my older videos are noticeably older, and I am less confident and less skillful at making the videos. Please watch my 10th anniversary retrospective for some information on that, if you do not wish to go back into the archives. Probably not a good idea. Anyway, the videos are not as skillful as the ones I make now, and so I want the thumbnails to kind of reflect that. The thumbnails are as they were when that video was made, and so it doesn't feel right to go back to these really ancient videos and change the thumbnails. I did that for a few. When I settled on the robot back in the day, I went back and changed some of the older ones, and that was fine, because they were only like a few months old at that point, but now they're 10 years old. And so I don't really want to be going back and digging up all those things, because they are what they are, and they are a time capsule, and the thumbnail should reflect that. I don't want to put a new thumbnail on an old video, and you go and watch it, and it's old, young me making a very low-quality recording of something, It's not what you would expect, hopefully, by clicking on a new thumbnail. So that they are staying as they are. Somebody suggested that older videos that are still relevant should perhaps have new thumbnails, and so I have gone back to a few that I have not thumbnailed, but which have had quite a significant number of views, pop thumbnails on them. Hopefully that'll help. And if not, then maybe it'll put in some brand recognition, something like that. Anyway, I'm nearly running out of time, so I think I will leave it there. I think I've said all I need to say on this topic, but please, your feedback on the thumbnails will be very, very valued. And if you like them, or if you don't like them, if you think there's something to change about them, then please do let me know, because I am very interested to hear your opinion. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.